couples night at the Bidness. Tonight I am super excited. Some of my favorite couples are here to join us in a warmth embrace of love. Let me introduce them today. We have Cameron and Whitney Hallenbeck from Pocket Entertainment. And Cameron also plays guitar for Half Past Two, where he wears many, many hats. Literally. He changes a hat every song, so sometimes in between the songs. So, and then we have Theresa and Etienne. Yes, and they're joining us from Paris. From France, or Paris. Wow. I don't know if they're in Paris, but they're in France. They play in the Caribbean Soul Steppers, which is a great band. They are absolutely awesome. They also have a side group called the Nancy Ska Jazz Orchestra, and Etienne is formerly of the band La Casa BANCALE, which is the Wiggly House. I looked it up. In Italiano, yes. And then, last but certainly not least, we have Kurt and Rosey Armstrong from Hans Gruber and the Diehards and Los Kurados, right? Los Kurados?
Yep.
That's your other band? Yep. And I think you might even have some other bands. These guys are crazy. They play everywhere. Sax, trombone, and bass, and anything that you throw at them, they will make noises out of it. So
we'll figure it out.
Very good. Very good to have you all. Usually I have a co-host, Brian, but he's not here today. He had to work because he's back in the Bay Area, so he knows that people out looking for him, they want their money back. So he's gonna make some money tonight. I am your host tonight, and my name is Curtis. I play with the band Monkey. Now, we usually ask our guests, what did you do to keep from going insane during the COVID lockdown? And this is a couples episode, so we're going to focus on the couple thing. So I'm going to ask today, what did you do to keep your mate from going insane during COVID lockdown? All right, that's a little spin on that, just a little spin. All right, and we'll start that question off with Kurt and Rosey. What did you guys do to make sure that every day was special, that you guys had a reason not to choke each other?
Well, I mean, I think we answered this last time we were here, but we went to couples therapy, got ourselves a nice person with a good old PhD, and talked to her and made sure that we were, not at each other's throats.
That's good. Did you do any special like a holiday for just the two of you?
We actually did. I kind of forgot about it, but we did like a little camping trip. It wasn't that far away from Austin, but it's just a couple hours outside of it. And we had never been to. It's called Colorado Bend State Park, and it was beautiful. We had never really heard of it.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think that was kind of the only one.
Yeah.
It's good to see that you guys are still here. There's not just claw marks and like hair everywhere.
That part we leave up to Kevin.
Very good. Very good. He's Kurt is his personal scratching post.
Yeah.
Excellent. Theresa and Etienne, what did you guys do to keep each other on level-headed and working together towards harmony?
Do you want to answer that?
It's not easy, for sure. It was not easy. It's still not. It's still continuing. So, yeah. But I think mainly we have a little kid which is 3 years old.
Oh, okay.
Sleeping now, just so he's keeping us pretty much busy. And for the rest of the time, we try to be creative and do stuff. Mm-hmm. And we just dive into it. We made a lot of videos together.
Yeah.
Try to keep busy. It's not easy, but we're managing for now.
Excellent. Good to hear. Did you guys do any like a cool little vacation thing? Did you get out of the house with the family?
It was not really possible. We were really locked up here in France. So we couldn't even visit my family in Germany, which was quite hard last year because we had planned this since a long time and we couldn't do it. So we were just staying here, but we are actually lucky because we have a garden and a house. So.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, the garden is key. It's so interesting. You feel like the world is just falling apart and there's nothing going on right. And then you go out there and you're like, fluff, fluff. That's pretty cool. I didn't see that last week, and it just kind of like reaffirms your faith that life will go on. So yeah, excellent. Good to hear. Whitney and Cameron, you guys are always working promoting shows, and the shows just went away.
Yeah.
So I imagine that a large portion of your relationship is structured on like, I love you too. What are we doing about the show? But now there's no show, right? So what'd you guys do to keep from going absolutely insane?
I think, we before quarantine happened, we were so go with all the shows that we I don't know, I feel like we've had more time to kind of actually get to know each other again, and we've tried different activities like puzzling and hiking and
I think even before COVID shut down all the shows and stuff, we really did have a lot of time together that we kind of formed our own bonds outside of Pocket. I think that was a really important thing for us to be able to share different things we just have so many things in common. So we watch a lot of movies. We do a lot of that kind of stuff.
Oh no!
We lost someone.
Oh no!
I didn't think my story was that boring, but I'm sorry. I was just talking about
it. It might have been anything. It could have been a power outage. Could have been a.
Could have been a revolution.
Yeah, it could have been a revolution just randomly. The yellow coaster just out.
They're better at those.
All right. So this is narrowing down to a really finite show here.
And also we got married too as part of our other answer.
Right. That's right. You guys actually got married. Did you get married? You got married right before COVID, right?
No. We actually, my best friend got married the weekend that California shut down. So that was fun. But no, we got married.
Yeah, we got engaged before COVID, and then we got married in December this past.
Cool.
December.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Cool. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So
you may remove the mask to kiss the bride. It was just kind of all so dystopic, but
they should have awesome. a big mono mask that you have to wear while kissing.
Yeah, no kidding. It's you said you wanted to be together. Now you can never take it off.
A big sock that you guys wear over your head.
Just keeps you warm.
Excellent.
Though during the winter, it's nice.
That's that's an interesting thing. I really I was kind of here and there about the mask thing because everybody hates wearing a mask, and at the time that they told everybody to wear it, I was growing the most manly, gigantic, horrible chest beard, and putting it on was just turned you into a lizard,
Yes.
And then one day I went out. It was really cold, and I was like, "Man, I have never felt better in the cold." And I realized that the warm breath on your face keeps your face warm. And I'm like, I kind of like it. Just to let you guys know, me and my girl, we went to the desert, the Southwest. Went to Nevada, Southern California, Arizona, Utah, and even Wyoming to see no people.
Yes.
It was somewhere around, I think it was Thanksgiving weekend. Everyone was wondering how many massive super spreader events were going to happen during the holidays because they said everybody wants to travel. And my girl said, I don't know if I want to travel because, everyone's saying don't travel. And I'm like, but if we rented a car and we drove into the desert, it would be us in practice. And that's what we did. We did. We saw the sights. It was quite lovely, actually. Getting to see everything. The only thing was we shouldn't have stopped past the Grand Canyon. I wanted her to see the Grand Canyon so bad, and we got there and there was 1,000,001 people. And so we tried to go out to see the canyon from the main. There's like it's called like Stevens Point or something like that, and there was just so many people there that we turned around. And then luckily I've been there a couple of times, so I said, okay, well, there are rim stops along the bottom rim that you can go, and there's nobody there because they don't know about these other rim stops, and you got to get in a car and drive to them. So we went to a couple of rim stops and saw the sun come up, and it was cold. Man, it was cold. I think I was wearing everything we brought with us. The wind was whipping, and it was just beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. It's those trying times that keep us together, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I had this dumb idea with the couples episode in which I wanted to do kind of like a newlywed game thing. So we would ask a question of one of the partners, and they would write the answer down. And then we would ask the other partner to say what they think their partner wrote down. So we're going to go ladies first here. We're going to ask a question of the ladies. The ladies are going to write it down while the men turn away. And we want to see you visually turn away because we don't want to see you peeking. All right? So Kurt, turn away. He's like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Well, secretly, they've got mirrors on the side.
We have a lot of tricky things around.
All right, ladies. What is your man's favorite lockdown activity? And once you've all right,
there's a lot of letters.
Oh my God!
Don't look. But go ahead and put it down. Go ahead and put it down. Go ahead and put it down. All right. All right. So. All right. So. Fantastic. All right. So men, turn back around and tell us your favorite lockdown activity.
I mean, it was probably either sex or video games, depending on the day.
Show him. Show him. Show him.
All right. Well,
I thought about video games. I almost said that one, and then I was like, no, I think this time. I don't know.
Isn't that every man's dream? Is
doesn't have to be lockdown. It's just like, in general.
Cameron, what is your favorite lockdown activity?
I don't know what you put, but I was thinking maybe movie marathons. I don't know. Oh God.
Movie marathons?
What is it?
Yeah.
Watching.
Nice.
Horror movies. Oh yeah, that's definitely.
So that's pretty close. So awesome. Give yourself a big round of applause. Right. You win nothing. Awesome. And we'll pepper these throughout the show. So Rosey and Kurt, what's happening down in Texas? You guys had the power outage and all that stuff. Are you guys back on? I see light in the room. I see that the computer is on, right?
Yeah.
Unless you guys are on like hamster wheels.
It was. No, it was crazy. We, to put it in perspective, we had a large portion of the state that had no power, some places no water for about 3 to 5 days. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, the Texas...
Some people still don't have water.
Some people still have water, but the Texas buildings are not made to insulate extreme cold for that long also. So you basically had, our whole power infrastructure is a piece of shit. We're not on the national grid. We're on our own grid, so it's unregulated. And we were without power in a lot of places. Rosey and I got lucky. We managed to maintain power. We must be important to something or be near something important because we kept it.
Did you guys get over?
But yeah, both.
We heard a lot about in the news that the local utilities companies were overcharging for people that actually got power, like in the thousands.
Yeah. I think that didn't happen to us. It happened to your brother.
No, he didn't. It was John.
Oh, John, your friend in Dallas. Okay, sorry, I mixed them up.
But I think that technically you're allowed to contest those.
Right.
So I think that the state of Texas isn't letting that actually stand. But yeah. But I mean, Governor Abbott decided that we can open up completely now. You know,
did you hear that?
That ice storm just knocked everything out. So Texas is open.
It killed coronavirus. So no masks.
Is dead. No masks
required. We beat it.
Texas beat it. So I want you guys to know Texas has won.
Thanks, guys.
Everything's bigger. Everything's bigger.
Yeah. I mean,
and we beat it.
Wait. The stars at night are big and bright.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah! That was for Chris. He loves that song.
You have brought you've brought a tear to my eye because I've been in love with that ever since Pee Wee Herman. Excellent. Cameron and Whitney, has anything like that happened in Southern California? Any major failures of utilities, or besides the stupid riots?
Right. No,
not really. I mean,
just California. Southern California fires is like the closest thing that we have to serious issues.
Yeah.
That's a serious issue every year for sure.
We just actually moved, and we realized actually just yesterday that we moved closer to where most of the fires are. So we're like, we're definitely going to be evacuated at some point.
It's very likely.
Nice.
So we were like,
mow that back lawn really good.
Exactly.
No, I bought a lot of shorts and just like.
I don't think I've worn pants since it started.
What's that?
Honestly, I've been like short guy.
Yeah. I totally.
Same with Kurt.
Yeah.
I'm just teasing. He never wears pants anyway.
Has Hans Gruber and the Diehards or Los Kurados played any of the Pocket Entertainment shows?
I think you guys did the chain show at for the Tazy show. We kind of helped coordinate on that, and that was, I think, the closest. And what was crazy was we were really sick that night. We ended up getting really, really sick that night, and it was
just the flu. It wasn't corona.
Yeah, and it was weird though, because it was a couple months before COVID, and we had never felt like this flu-like symptoms that just knocked us out completely. So it was a weird experience to be 2 months later being like, did we get an early strain of it? I mean, turned out we didn't. We got tested and everything, and it wasn't COVID. Yeah, that was crazy.
The antibody test though, it's only good for like a month or two afterwards, and then after that, the antibodies are so low that they're non-detectable in most of the time.
Right.
So it's kind of especially during the early part of the pandemic, it was hard because people wanted to get tested, and they were saying, well, you could, if you had it recently, you can get an antibodies test, but the antibody tests that we have right now are like 65 to 70% effective.
Right.
And it just was nonsense. So I know that Brian got it in late February, and he gave it to me during a practice, and so I came down with it in March, and of course my girl came down with it too. So we suffered through it, and of course there was no tests in our area, so we just kind of said, oh well. And then around April, Brian wanted to return to work, and they made him do an antibody test, and sure enough, he had it. So we knew that he had all the symptoms. We had most of the symptoms. We didn't get the chest thing. We got everything else, the flavor loss, the smell loss. You feel like you're falling asleep all the time, and you're aching. Your body's just aching, and your throat feels like it's on fire. All the great stuff.
Yeah. No thanks.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man. Well, in the feed right now we have Igor Boyas saying cheers to Caribbean Soul Steppers, and the response from the Caribbean Soul Steppers is Theresa says, oh, we got kicked out by our internet connection.
ISPs.
Damn those ISPs.
Yeah. Well, We'll have you on again. We'll do a Caribbean Soul Steppers episode and have you guys on and maybe some other band members and just make a party out of it. The internet will go down and everyone will fuck.
The rest of the world will go on with it.
I don't know if Theresa caught this, but we thought for a moment that the Yellowcoats were rioting again in France. So good to hear that they're not rioting. That's just the internet connection.
Can you
let's see, we got
hear the people? Sorry. I had to do it.
What other generic French things can we say, apparently?
I'm the worst person at Les Mis. I know the words and tunes to like most show tunes, and I've seen Les Mis, but I didn't grow up with it, so it's not like permanently written in my brain. So I remember that the songs were good, but I just don't remember the stupid lyrics. You know? But yeah, at the same time, if you ask me anything from The Sound of Music, I can sing you like every line. It's just the hills are alive.
Frightening thought.
Yep. Brian Sisko says, was it coordinated that all the ladies are on the left and all the guys are on the right?
Yes, it's a huge conspiracy.
Yeah.
That is pretty good. He caught that. That's good. Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
The Caribbean Soul Steppers stepped in and they said, so sad that we got kicked out by our shitty French internet provider. We'll join the after party, Theresa and Etienne.
Yay.
So before we go much further, let everybody know in the feed, stick around to the end. We turn off the live function and then we can unlock the room and invite you guys in. I'll share a link for that later on the show. All right. Jesse Stuckey from the Pacific Northwest. He's in Seattle. He does, he's kind of, he's kind of like the pocket
entertainment. The Caribbean cool.
Yeah, Caribbean cool. He says, so is it just me, or would the ultimate split be the Diehards and HP2? Hans and gang taking on Proximity. HP2 takes on Flat Earth.
We accept the challenge. I'm totally down. We love the heavier stuff. So it's funny because a lot of us really like that kind of music, but we come across a little pop.
Right. So, I think he's more referring to QAnon conspiracy theories.
That's good stuff. And I mean, we got Jay from B Sharps. I think he'll help us out with that.
Exactly. Yeah. So he's asking that you guys take on Flat Earth because we know, of course, that Hans Gruber and the Diehards have taken on Flat Earth because the world is flat. How the fuck do you don't know that?
No,
it's just a real shame that the Flat Earth truth is getting taken over by those people in QAnon. You know, we're just trying to tell the world what's really happening, and next thing you know, people are just getting associated with our scientific movement. So it's really frustrating.
Yeah. There you go. Kurt is also very hip on Sasquatch, Bigfoot theories and alien theories.
I actually do like a lot of the paranormal and supernatural stuff. I find that very interesting and fascinating because of I don't know, it's like the very social and passed on nature, half the time it's my friend of a friend heard this or my friend of a friend saw it. But getting those firsthand experience from people telling where they swear they've seen it, it's really hard to deny them that that's what they did or didn't see.
Right.
I'm not saying I believe every story I hear, but it's really interesting to hear those personal testimonies and hear from them. And it's like, well, why did you think you saw Bigfoot? Why did you think you're abducted by an alien?
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I do like it because it's, it shows up in actually our songwriting. If you do pay attention, I think that collectively we are interested in a lot of those personal stories and trying to take them at face value and not insulting.
Yeah.
Because I think the worst thing is to just go about and be like, oh, you're a dumb piece of shit. How could you believe this? But it's more interesting to say, oh, well, why did you see this? What did you think you saw? Tell me about it. And it's not about trying to convince them that they did or didn't see something, but more about, well, like, what did it feel like? What was it like? Why did you think that?
And I think you love to if I can speak for you, is kind of like he's talking about like the story aspect or what word am I looking for? Anthropomorphic.
What?
Anthropological?
Yeah.
Yeah. Animorphs?
Oh,
yeah, that's what I mean.
Shifting from one being to another.
Anyway, yeah, like the storytelling aspect or whatever, because I think that's part of what, like, both of us as individuals and as a couple love about music too. I mean, that's some of the reason we love some of the music we do. You know, you wouldn't think we love country, for instance, or whatever, but there's a lot of country I love because it has, especially the old stuff, it just has that, like, the ballad, the story. Obviously, Ballad of Burro the Man, we wrote our own, like, ode to it with, like, a ska punk flair, you know? Mm-hmm. Or I guess Kurt wrote it. I can't, all I can take credit for in that song is the cowbell.
It's the best part.
More cowbell. More
cowbell. Walking would be happy.
Some of the punk, like folk punk, it kind of gets into that too. Like the Taxpayers, I don't know if you guys know them. They're huge, I guess, kind of inspiration for a lot of our writing, and they're very that way too. Just very story and very like, this person said like what? Yeah, I don't know, just human. Anyway.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, with me, I always thought that for people that, at least for the Bigfoot thing, right? I always figured it was a snipe hunt. Do you guys know what snipe hunting is?
Yeah.
All right. So you know what snipe hunting. Okay, so Cameron and Whitney, you guys are city kids. You don't know what snipe hunting is. No. If you were ever in the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, the fun thing to do is get around the fire, tell some really wicked stories so that everybody's all, ooh, ghosts, you know, whatever. And then you send them out on a snipe hunt. Now, snipe is a ground bird, like a roadrunner, and it's super vicious, and it's really fast, right? Yeah. And so they get you out there with basically like a pillow sack, right? Gunny sack of some sort. And they're like, watch out, here it comes, ah! And then they flash a bunch of flashlights and you get scared, ah! And you drop the bag and you're like, ah, it's eating me. And there's like, someone's like poking you with a stick. And you get freaked out and then someone turns the light on you and then everyone laughs.
Nice.
So that's what I always figured the Bigfoot stories were. There were guys that were out there drinking and some guy's playing a joke on his buddy and never told him that.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, Uncle Larry was in the grill suit and this is getting pretty funny. Let's just kind of leave it.
Like, oh, Daryl.
Daryl.
You're taking it too far.
Daryl. You were there. You saw it. Oh, yeah, I saw it too.
To me, I wonder if it also leans into maybe a little bit of that leftover, like, evolutionary nature when we had the identifying difference between us and Neanderthal.
Totally.
And so it's the idea is the old stories or the old almost like, it's kind of like how you get scared when you see a snake. There's no reason that we know what it is, but we have the biology. So we see a snake, we get scared. That's a very common aspect that apes have. Yeah. And so I almost wonder if it's like this leftover from we were to identify this thing it's not quite human, the Neanderthal. It's like it's a little off, and so we have this leftover. You're in the woods, and it's kind of a mental like it's out there. This thing that's not quite human. That's what's so scary.
Yeah. That's a good one. That might be a part of it. Whitney and Cameron, do you guys follow any bizarre like aliens? Are you into sci-fi? Or
I mean we're
pretty much into things.
I mean there was a point towards the beginning of quarantine. My mom just moved out of living with us, where just the three of us towards the beginning of quarantine just spent like I feel like it was like an entire weekend just like looking at like the real ghost videos and stuff online and like we were just like, it was like very much
it's real, it's so real, it's a ghost.
It was very much like Charlie Day and It's Always Sunny where he's just like got the map out and we're like okay but this was here, okay but this one happened here, but it can't be it's
I don't know. I just like to think that the arrogance of human nature it can't determine things like the mythos of, the origins of Bigfoot and things like the unknown of the afterlife and things like that. But I mean, there's things we could know from our own experiences, and from stories and from what we hear. But it's like, I think it's kind of funny when people are like, "There's no way," and you're like, "Oh, really? You're dead?" You know the afterlife? Like, that's so crazy. You know?
I've been dead. I've been dead before.
Dead, bro. I was a teen, bro.
I was totally dead, dude. Bro.
Yeah.
Dude, man, bro.
My camp. Yeah. Black Parade.
I would even say that like there's like a level of like comfort that I feel like the paranormal brings people. Like for instance, like my grandma just passed, and like there have been a couple of people that have like either messaged me or like messaged our family where they're like, I have this psychic connection that your grandma's okay, and like your cousin's gonna have a baby that's named like whatever, and it's like because she told me so, and I'm like, all right,
take it.
Like,
yeah.
All right, Grandma.
Yeah.
Grandma's
Grandmas always know. They're just psychic. It's a thing that happens when you become a grandma, I guess.
Yeah, and you connect with random strangers apparently in the afterlife.
I guess if I were to take it a step further, it's a little bit of the I don't want there to not be mysteries.
Right.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I think that so much you get caught up in these stories because you don't want there to be an answer. Is if for some reason, you know, like we're talking about Bigfoot, you know, someone came up and they're like, oh, look at this, here's a picture of a real life Bigfoot, and like it's a real thing, the US government's hiding it, or whatever bullshit they say, I'd be disappointed. It'd be kind of like, oh man, like that's not actually that interesting anymore. Like
kind of
the mystique of Bigfoot, the mystique of ghosts is more exciting than actually finding out, oh, like, you know, when you die, we all come back and just haunt people, and that's the shit we do. You're kind of like, oh, great. Okay, well, I guess I'm doomed to just walk around and spook people for the rest of my life. I don't know.
But here's the thing that I don't get is that, let's say I die tomorrow, right? And then I come back and I spook my girl and my dog, right? Ooh, I'm still here. Da, da, da. But there were people that lived in this house before, and there's people that died in this house before.
For sure.
You know what I mean? And then before the house was built, there were people that died on this ground at some point, right? Or, you know, so if you look at it, right, we have, I don't know how many, 50, 60 million people in, well, actually, I think it's a lot more than that, in the U.S., and then like something like 1.6 billion over the world, right? And then you times that by however many people are dying per year, like that is so many ghosts that there's not room for anything else.
Oh, yeah. You're like sandwiched up against the wall, like.
Well, and I think you got to take it a step further, because then if you're talking about the idea of this, like, you know, like, I guess reality existing after death, what's the parameters for life or for consciousness? Could it be mammals? Does it end at bacteria? So now you're talking about like single cell organisms. How many ghosts do they have?
Yeah. Yes, you're exactly correct. Yes.
Patrick Swayze.
Those bacteria ghosts, you got to watch out for them.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good song. We might have to do a bacteria ghost song now.
The ghost of coronavirus past.
It's actually COVID actually existed years ago. This is a ghost. This is a ghost virus.
Got a ghost virus
coming back. Yeah.
Nice. Tara Hahn is in the feed, and she says, "I'm totally going to haunt you two now."
That's all right with us. That's cool.
Like, I like to think, I don't know, just like in my delusional brain, but I like to think that like there's just that one guy that's just like, I'm gonna be a ghost, and like that's his career choice, and so he just like haunts the set, just like living in the walls.
He's just
like, I'm a ghost.
I'm a professional ghost. Maybe now.
You got a card.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to have a ghost card.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, this sounds like a diversion topic, but have you guys ever watched Horrible Histories? It's a British program.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Horrible Histories.
So Horrible Histories is supposed to be a kid's show, right? But British people are so much more intelligent than American kids, right? At least they treat their kids with a different level of intelligence, right? So they teach them history, but what they do is they go through the eras, and the actors in this program are acting out people in those eras, but they only teach you the stuff that has something gross attached to it. Like people in the 15th century actually thought that if you had a heart attack, you cured it by smearing dog feces over your head and walking around the town going, I have a heart condition, you know, that kind of thing. Right. So, and all of it's true. Yeah. It's all parodied, but it's all true. And then they do like a music video, which is awesome. So they copy like a famous musician's song, and then they put these words about like King Henry did this, and you know.
For sure.
Awesome.
Nice.
So definitely look it up. But the entire cast has decided to do a second show, and the show is called Ghosts.
Ooh,
right?
Fun.
And the concept is exactly what we're talking about. This woman inherits a big, grand house, an old house, and along with it comes her family member's ghost, the previous owner's ghost, people that just died on the property, and a caveman from the caveman era going like, I don't know why I'm still here, but I like being ghost, you know, that kind of thing. Totally hilarious.
Nice.
Totally hilarious, because now these guys have spent something like 11 seasons, 12 seasons, doing every historical character that you can think of, and now they're doing a comedy, and they get to do just that character for the duration of the comedy. Oh, it's so good.
That sounds amazing.
It is unbelievable.
I'm so down.
Yeah, so definitely look it up. It's called Ghosts. YouTube has a bunch of commercials and stuff. Just say Ghosts UK. And
would the American version of the history show for the US version, would that be like Drunk History?
No. Yeah, Drunk History is a little bit different. Yeah. Drunk History is definitely made for adults.
And made for
Yeah. So the concept of drunk history is that while you're drunk, you're trying to get the facts right, and you can't get them right. And so you're like, dude wore a coat and stuff. And you're like, what does that have to do with the story? I don't know. I'm drunk. But
it's funny, Curtis, that you bring up both of these shows, because now that it goes back to the first question of how we kept each other sane, is actually we watched a lot of Horrible Histories, and we watched a lot of Drunk Histories. A lot of animes.
Yeah. We got a bunch of nerdy shit, some not nerdy shit, just everything you can. Actually,
Kill la Kill, finally got through Kill la Kill. That was fun.
It's actually funny you mentioned the Horrible Histories, because I have a song that I had written during quarantine. Well, I mean, there's a bunch of them, but it's we'll have to eventually get around to recording it someday. But it's about trepidation, which is the act of drilling a hole in your head. And it's which
the chorus, you can do the chorus. It's so good.
No. But anyways, it's funny because like it was definitely influenced from watching Horrible Histories and talking about those the bizarre medical practices, because that's also a subject that unfortunately had to come out last year, is like people suggesting really dumb things.
Oh yeah,
like
injecting bleach. Yeah.
Right. And it's that bizarre reality that we all laugh at it and say how dumb that is, but there's times when, like, I remember him talking about can we get sunlight into the veins, and having to tell Rosey is like, well, technically back when we had when tuberculosis was such a problem, we did experiments where literally we sawed open chests and exposed it to sunlight, thinking that might kill the bacteria. And it's like, people are so desperate to get cured because you're going to die. It's like, well, do you want us to open your chest up and see if that cures you, or do you want to just go die without your chest being open? And so you'd say, well, I mean, if you think sunburning my lungs will save me, let's go do it. And
if you guys ever have a chance and find yourself after COVID lockdown is over, if you find yourself in New Orleans, there's a place called the Pharmacy Museum. And the Pharmacy Museum is cool. It's 2 stories, very small rooms, but it's like the history of pharmaceutical techniques to keep you alive during like various pandemics and stuff. And the amazing thing about it, though, is that I think it's at 1 p.m. every day. Basically, it's $5 for you to get in and to take the tour. To take the tour by yourself is worthless. There's no reason to do it. Take the 1 p.m. tour, the guy that runs the place comes out and he gives you an entire history session where he just talks about each implement and how they used it, like bloodletting and just all these really wicked concepts, like, yeah, we're eating cyanide to cure the vapors, whatever the vapors were. You know, this is very important to know about Louisiana during the 14 and 1500s. And it was a really popular port. This is way before the US was a thing, right? Before the Plymouth Rock happened. And it was a port town at that point by the French, and they were going through multiple diseases that would just kill 75% of the people, and then a new boat of people would show up and they could just move the bodies outside and just move right into the houses, yeah, whatever. And one of the mayors of the town were convinced that there were vapors, right? These evil vapors descended upon their town, and they were all dying of tuberculosis, which is a lung disease. And the way to get rid of the vapors that were causing the tuberculosis is to burn barrels of pitch all over the city, which means everybody is just coughing and smoke to exacerbate it, right? And people were saying, this is not working. We should really get rid of this dude, right? And so he said, no. We have to go above and beyond. We have to scare the vapors. Scare them. They're evil spirits. So he got the military to line up cannons to fire over the city, right? But the cannons all have different packing methods. So most of the cannonballs went into the houses of the people that were suffering.
Problem solved if you're dead.
So good.
That's true.
So good. So good. I mean, I would hate to have lived back then, but I love hearing about that stuff. It's fantastic.
But what in 100 years that we're doing now are people going to say?
I was
Can
just
you
going
believe
to say
how
the same
dumb
thing.
these people were?
Well, look at cancer treatment. Look, I mean, it could be just right now we don't have the technology, but later we're going to be like, we literally killed ourselves to kill the cancer. I mean, it's barbaric, but I mean, what do? It's hard to know, or look at roads and telephone lines. They run our entire world, but what's going to happen next? What are we going to do with them after that?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to find out. We're going to find out something like the internet gave everyone cancer, and as soon as we got rid of it, everything was cool. 5G. 5G. Yeah. You got more Alex Jones in there. And more about if I did the Alex Jones thing, I might be able to convince the singer of Smashing Pumpkins to come on.
Oh my God, dude.
He's totally Alex Jones.
Honestly, I feel like you could kind of pull it off. If you did the shave and everything. I just want to hear your impression now.
The water is turning the freaking frogs gay.
Thank you.
That's pretty good.
That was good. That was perfect.
Awesome.
There's a punk band here in town that they're called the Butts, and their last album.
Very good.
Nice. It was pretty nice, and they go kind of more poppy punk. So I mean, I don't know if you guys are saying you're more poppy ska with your bands, but if you like pop punk, they have great voices, and they have their last album did a bunch of Alex Jones kind of funny stuff and alien stuff, Area 51, and they did a good job.
I think it was Alex Jones is one of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's the song name.
Lizard people.
The globalist dude.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Which actually reminds me of one of the, I think it was sort of fun. It was kind of comical. But for some reason, during the George Floyd protest, InfoWars huge truck decided to go downtown, and it just got smashed. People were not why are you here? Yeah. It was yep.
Yeah. Not surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do another round. Let's do a round for the men. The men will write this down. The ladies will turn their heads away.
I feel like I'm on timeout.
You're on timeout. You won't look this way.
Staring at the wall.
All right. All right. So, men. What do you think your lady would say is your band's best song to make Whoopee 2?
To make Whoopee 2 right out of the Newlywed Game.
Absolutely, 100% Newlywed Game. So what would you say is your partner's idea of your favorite song that you've created, that you wrote yourself?
God.
That you think is so sexy? You think it's so sexy that you would love to make Whoopee 2?
How short all our songs do.
Maybe that's a reason.
Yeah. Just get it over with. Just get it over with.
Yeah.
Nice. We see that we lift it up a little higher.
Sorry.
I see that. Okay, great. That's a good one. All right, ladies, what song would you pick?
But I'm picking what I think your favorite is.
Right?
Yeah.
Your favorite.
My favorite?
I don't know.
I pick my favorite, or I pick what I think is.
What do you think your man thinks is the sexiest song in his arsenal?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The sexy's not exactly Hans Gruber's MO.
Oh, so we're picking Hans
and that's why it's such a good question.
I
know. Do I pick the cockroach skank?
Which one's crustier?
You're already on your back, legs up.
Fucking A. That's fucking good.
This is a hard one.
I think. Shit. Okay. You're being watched is tempting because it's funny to think of the cockroach mosh since you start, you're on your back with your legs up.
Oh, for
but
sure.
I'm gonna say the Ballad of Burrow the Man.
I said Howlin'.
Oh, of course. Duh.
The song is
actually
song's actually about oral sex, so it
Oh, okay.
Think of that.
There you go. It was in the lyrics all the time.
It was she just paid attention.
Oh.
Eye contact. So Whitney, what do you think is the song? The song that he's written that's so sexy. It is the song to make Whoopee 2.
That he's written. Well, he wrote "See You Again," which I can see that happening, but. If we're going comical here, I would say like "Smile Like You Mean It."
This goes along with that eye contact thing.
You don't mean it. Don't take that smile. No.
Yeah.
So what was the song there, Cameron?
Oh, it was "See You Again."
You guys win absolutely nothing. But thanks for playing.
You're welcome.
Excellent. Brian Cisco says Curtis uses only the best euphemisms.
Only.
Only the
Sounds like an
finest.
advertisement.
Proximity would work too. You can.
Nice. So we got let's see, Jess McCauley, one of my friends. He's a teacher, and he says he has not shown his class drunk history, but he has shown them horrible histories. Nice. So he's very happy that it's there, but he wishes that he could show them drunk history. So. Let's see. Oh, Craig Waddell from Surgeon General says hi. Hey, everybody, say hi. Back. And the Caribbean Soul Steppers, Theresa and Etienne bowed out earlier on, but they're in the feed, and they said our best song for that is "Comes Love."
Cool.
There you go.
I think that "Here Comes Love." I don't know. Hey, what was that?
I don't know. Just stretching out my wrist.
It's just I'm mixing cocktails over here.
With the shoulder, that's right.
He's fetching love.
Good luck, Curtis. Good luck.
That's two. That's two cocktails at once.
A lot of luck, okay?
All night. All night.
A lot of luck.
Awesome. Oh man, so we're at the end of the hour. Thank you guys. You guys are so fun to hang out with.
Curtis, can we do a quick?
Can we pimp something real fast?
Please.
Okay. We're announcing something exciting and big tomorrow over at Hans Gruber and the Diehards. That's the most I can say, but we'll have an exciting announcement. So keep your eyes peeled.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Drop a link in the feed so that people can follow it because that is a good thing to know. What time of day are you guys dropping that information?
Should be around midday. I think it's around
lunch hour.
Depending on the country.
To our time. Is it?
1 Eastern.
1 our time.
It's a time during the day. You'll get it. Just look around.
No, yeah.
Times are not relative. It's all a false concept.
I think there are several physicists that will argue that. I think you do not know this thing about the time. Oh man, Cameron and Whitney, do you guys have anything to promote? Are you guys doing anything?
We promote love. Just love each other right now. We're trying to do stuff, but it's not looking likely. And anybody that's doing promotions knows that it's never fun to do the shows in the first place when it's stressful. But with COVID, it's just a whole nother layer. And I'm glad that people kind of understand. A lot of the times people are hitting you up to like try to figure out what's going on, but it seems like most people are kind of getting it that like shows probably aren't going to happen for a while. But we are working on it. It's just there are things out there that we're hoping to put together, but we can't be sure yet. But we listen to more music, and there's so many good bands out right now. It's ridiculous. It seems like that's been the good thing about COVID is there's been a lot of music.
For sure.
I feel like I've heard a lot more music.
For sure. And the file trading thing is just a flurry right now. Everyone's doing a song. So
yeah.
All right, so let's do the last question, and we'll modify our last question today since it's a couple's night. The question will be, as a couple, what would you say to another couple to improve their life from what you've learned from each other? So you guys have been stuck in the same four walls, and you got some little nugget of wisdom. You run across a friends, and they're like, I hate him. I want to get away from him, but I can't. It's COVID. What are you going to tell that person to encourage them to fall in love again? To encourage them to give space to their partner? We'll start with Rosey. Rosey, what do you think you would say to a friend if a friend was like, man, I just can't live with that person any longer. I'm going to kill them. What are you going to say that you learned over this period?
I think going back to Theresa's garden, right? Maybe encouraging, is there something you like to do that's maybe just in a different space, right? Which is something we've struggled with because our house is really small. And even though you might need to do it for that person, do it for yourself. As well. And then I think not being afraid of therapy, right? Like I know that we keep talking about that, but it's really helped us. And I think it took us a bit to like kind of shed this is like only for people who are messed up or whatever. There's like a stigma to it. And I think just not being afraid of that and just, hey, if you're struggling, like don't be afraid to try that. Or also, it's hard to balance this one, right? But like not being afraid to hurt your partner's feelings, but before you do that, do it out of love. Like it's okay to be honest and be like, this X, and that's something I struggle with. I grew up in a society or whatever culture where we weren't supposed to be honest. We're always supposed to just be nice, right? And that doesn't necessarily foster a healthy place for myself. So I guess for me, those are the things. And then the most positive thing would be when you do go out in that garden or wherever that space is, try to look back and just like think of the funniest moments you've had together and just remember those moments.
Nice. So and if you don't have a garden, build a pillow fort.
Right, there you go.
No girls allowed.
Open the window. Stick your head out.
Excellent. Cameron, tell me what would you say to a neighboring couple that was having a hard time, and you just kind of want to get them back on their feet again? What would you tell them you learned over this this trying period of the lockdown?
I think the biggest thing is always communication. I think everybody can agree on that. And the biggest part about communication that gets misconstrued is the miscommunication that easily happens. And it's just being clear, being honest, and being clear is a big part that'll honestly will eliminate a lot of issues. Sometimes people let things build up, and it's just, if it's bothering you, just say why. And I think it's also important to recognize in your own self kind of what it is that maybe is bothering you. Like if it's something that's a personality thing or something that's actually a genuine problem in maybe the relationship, then there should be maybe a conversation there. But if it's something like you're realizing that maybe you're just agitated because you haven't been outside or you're not getting exercised or whatever, there's a lot of different factors to why you may not be in the best mood. And so kind of taking that into account is a big part of it too. But I think just being clear and reasonable and listen, if you just listen to your partner, most of the time they'll put it right out there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's good advice. Always be willing to talk about things, even if they're tough to talk about, because at some point it's going to be like, man, we got to talk about that. It's
a relationship. It's not to win. It's not to like be I'm in charge or anything. It's like this is going to make it better for everyone.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. Kurt, what do you think you would tell another couple that's having a hard time? From your,
I would say that learning to talk and learning to listen are both skills, just like learning to play the guitar or learning how to sing, learning how to do something. And you can't expect to know how to do it if you don't actively practice it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it goes for anything, even, we all laugh about it, but the idea of making love, you can't expect to be good at it or understand your partner. We're all different. Unless you actually practice and do it. And that's all part of communication, is just learning to read your partner's body language, learning to listen to them correctly, and learning how to even speak yourself. And it doesn't happen overnight. It will take time. And you can't expect to enter a marriage after knowing someone for 2 years and have everything figured out. You're still going to have literally a lifetime to get everything wrong still.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, absolutely. It is a constant learning experience for sure. And giving yourself and your partner the grace to understand that and just go, look, maybe we need to both stop talking about that subject and realize that we're yelling about something else. And it's because we're frustrated. We haven't run across this before and we're not good at it yet. So yeah, that's great advice for sure. Whitney, you've been staring at the same four walls and mom's gone now. So you've had at least a couple of months to think about it. What would you tell another couple that was having a hard time?
I'm going to piggyback off of what Rosey said and kind of what Cam said. It's that level of, communication. Like, I feel like in this time we've really learned how to communicate with each other beyond like, oh, we have X, Y, and Z this week that we need to accomplish. It's more of, communicating, these are my needs, and this is what I need from you. And also kind of not expecting your partner to do the same and being observant of what they need as well. And, and also just asking, like, what can I do for you? Like, and I think that creates a safe space for couples to just be able to communicate, grow, feel comfortable. I mean, right now, nobody feels comfortable being confined to one space, but I think that just creating that safe space for you and your partner to be yourselves and say, like, you know what, like, I'm gonna go sit out on the patio and I'm gonna read by myself for a little bit. Like, I want to spend time with you, but like I also need just that, like, that half an hour, that hour by myself.
Oh yeah, anybody that's been over to my house knows that I love hammocks, and so we got matching hammocks, and anytime you want to get away, just go out there with the book and sit in the sun and sway in the breeze a little bit. It suddenly makes everything a lot better. It really does.
Yeah, and also give your partner like the benefit of the doubt and respect that, you know, you guys are in this experience together. Yeah. Like, it's hard on you, but it's also hard on them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely know that. I've had plenty of conversations like that over the year, but also over the period before then, getting to know that there's a point at which you don't sweat the small things. You know? If she wants to watch a marathon of murder porn, like, let her watch it. Like, I'll just make dinner. What would you like for dinner? Right. What tastes the best with murder porn?
Yeah. Red wine.
Red wine. Bam! Yeah. Right there. The man has an answer for everything.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Cameron and Whitney Hallenbeck from Southern California, Pocket Entertainment's 2:30. We have Kurt and Rosey Armstrong from Hans Gruber and the Diehards and Los Kurados in Texas. And we have Theresa and Etienne, who had internet problems. Many, many blessings to you. And we hope to see you in the after party. All right. That's the business. Yeah. Woo!